Reading is like opening a door to a new world. When you read, you can go anywhere in your mind. You can be in a big forest, a small village, or even a magic land. Books let you live many lives in just one lifetime. This is why reading is something we should all do every day. When you read, you can learn new things. You might read about places you have never been to. You can read about people who lived long ago. This helps you understand the world better. Reading makes your brain grow strong, just like exercise makes your body strong. Reading also helps you feel what others feel. When you read a story, you can feel happy, sad, or scared, just like the people in the story. This helps you understand how other people feel in real life. It makes you kinder and more caring toward others. Once there was a boy named Sam. He loved playing with his friends. But one day Sam's family moved to a new city. In the new city, Sam had no friends. He felt lonely and sad. His mom noticed this and gave him a book to read. At first, Sam did not want to read the book, but one rainy day when he had nothing to do, he picked up the book and started reading. The book was about a boy who was also lonely. The boy in the book had lost his best friend. Sam felt sad for the boy. He kept reading to see what would happen next. As he read, Sam felt like he was not alone anymore. He understood that other people feel lonely too, just like him. By the end of the book, the boy in the story had made new friends. Sam smiled because he knew that he could make new friends too. The next day, Sam went to the park with the book in his hand. He saw another boy sitting alone on a bench. Sam felt brave because of the story he read. He walked up to the boy and asked if he wanted to read the book with him. The boy smiled and said yes. They read the book together and soon they became best friends. This story shows us how reading can change our lives. Sam was sad and lonely, but reading a book helped him find a friend. Reading can help us understand that we are never truly alone. There are always stories that can make us feel better and give us hope. Reading can also make us dream. When we read about people who did great things, we start to believe that we can do great things too. Maybe you read about a hero who saves the day. That hero can inspire you to be brave in your own life. Books are full of dreams, and they give us the courage to chase our own dreams. There was once a girl named Lily. Lily was shy and scared to speak in front of others. She loved to read, but she never thought she could be like the heroes in her books. One day, Lily read a story about a girl who was just like her. The girl in the story was shy too, but she had a big heart. She wanted to help others, even though she was afraid. As Lily read, she felt like the story was written just for her. The girl in the story faced her fears and became a hero. She saved her village from a great danger. Lily was amazed by the girl's courage. She thought, if the girl in the story can be brave, maybe I can be brave too. A few days later, Lily's teacher asked the class if anyone wanted to read a poem out loud. Lily remembered the brave girl in the book. She took a deep breath and raised her hand. Her heart was beating fast, but she felt strong. When she stood in front of the class and read the poem, her voice was clear and steady. Everyone clapped and Lily smiled. She had faced her fear, just like the girl in the story. Lily's story reminds us that reading can give us strength. It can help us find the courage to do things we never thought we could do. Books are more than just words on a page. They are tools that help us grow and become better people. Reading also helps us connect with others. When we read, we learn about different cultures and ways of life. We start to see that even though people are different, we all share the same feelings. We all laugh, cry, and love. This makes us feel closer to others, even if they live far away. One day, a man named John was reading a book about a boy who lived in a faraway country. The boy in the book had to work hard every day to help his family. He did not have much, but he was always happy. As John read, he felt a deep connection to the boy. He understood that happiness does not come from having many things, but from being grateful for what you have. John decided to visit the country where the boy in the book lived. He wanted to meet people like the boy and learn more about their lives. When John arrived, he was welcomed with open arms. The people were kind and generous, even though they had little. John learned many things from them, but the most important lesson was that love and kindness are the true treasures of life. John's story shows us that reading can open our hearts. It can help us see the beauty in others and understand that we are all connected. Books are not just stories, they are bridges that bring us closer together. Our reading is also a way to find peace. When the world around us is loud and busy, a book can be a quiet place where we can rest. Reading helps us relax and forget our worries for a little while. It is like taking a deep breath in the middle of a storm. A woman named Maria loved to read before bed. Every night she would curl up with a book and let the words carry her away. One day Maria had a very hard day at work. She was tired and stressed. When she got home, she did not feel like doing anything. But she knew that reading always made her feel better. So she picked up her book. As Maria read, she felt the tension in her body start to melt away. The story was about a beautiful garden full of flowers and birds. Maria could almost smell the flowers and hear the birds singing. By the time she finished the book, she felt calm and happy. She knew that no matter how hard her day was, she could always find peace in a good book. Maria's story reminds us that reading is a gift we can give ourselves. It is a way to find calm in a busy world. Books are like friends who are always there for us when we need them. Reading is also a way to keep memories alive. When we read stories from the past, we learn about the people who came before us. We learn about their struggles and their triumphs. This helps us remember where we come from and what is important in life. There was an old man named Henry. Henry loved to read stories about his ancestors. He would sit by the fire and read for hours, imagining what life was like for them. One day, Henry found a very old book in his attic. The book was filled with stories that his great-grandfather had written. As Henry read the stories, he felt a deep connection to his family. He could feel their strength and their love. Henry decided to write his own stories so that his children and grandchildren could read them one day. He wanted them to know about the challenges he faced and the lessons he learned. Henry knew that by writing down his stories, he was keeping his family's history alive. Henry's story shows us that reading helps us remember. It helps us hold on to the things that matter most. Books are like treasures that we can pass down from one generation to the next. Reading is also a way to find hope. Sometimes life can be hard and we may feel lost. But when we read, we can find hope in the words of others. We can find the strength to keep going, even when things seem impossible. There was a young woman named Sarah who was going through a tough time. She had lost her job and was feeling very low. One day she found an old book on her shelf. The book was about a woman who faced many challenges but never gave up. As Sarah read, she felt a spark of hope in her heart. The woman's story gave her the courage to keep going, even when things were hard. Sarah started looking for a new job, and soon she found one. It was not easy, but she remembered the woman in the book and kept pushing forward. In the end, Sarah found a job that she loved, and she knew that reading the book had helped her get there. Sarah's story shows us that reading can light the way when we are in the dark. Books are like candles that help us find our way when the path is unclear. Reading is something we should all do every day. It helps us learn, grow, and connect with others. It gives us hope, strength, and peace. Books are not just stories, they are tools that help us live better lives. So let us make reading a part of our lives. Let us open the doors to new worlds, feel what others feel, and find the courage to chase our dreams. Let us connect with others, find peace in the pages of a book, and keep our memories alive. And most of all, let us find hope in the words of others, so that we can keep moving forward, no matter what life throws our way. Reading is a gift, and it is one that we should cherish every day. So, pick up a book and let the journey begin. You never know where it might take you, but one thing is for sure, it will be a journey worth taking. Reading is like planting seeds in your mind. Each time you read, you plant a new seed. These seeds grow into ideas, dreams, and wisdom. They bloom into thoughts that can change the way you see the world. This is why reading is so important. It helps you grow from the inside out. When you read, you can see the world through someone else's eyes. You might read about a person who lived a long time ago or someone from a place far away. By reading their stories, you learn to see the world as they do. This teaches you to be more understanding and open-minded. There was a young boy named Alex who lived in a small town. He had never traveled far from his home, so he only knew what life was like in his town. One day, Alex found a book about a boy who lived in a big city. The city was full of tall buildings, busy streets, and people from all over the world. As Alex read, he felt like he was walking through the city himself. The boy in the story faced challenges that Alex had never thought about before. He had to learn how to live in a place where everything was different. Alex started to understand that not everyone lives the same way he does. He realized that the world is big and full of different people, each with their own stories. Alex's story shows us that reading helps us understand others. It helps us see that even though people may look different or live in different places, we all share the same feelings and dreams. Books help us build bridges between our hearts and the hearts of others. Reading also teaches us to be patient. A good book is like a puzzle that you slowly put together, piece by piece. You turn each page, eager to see what happens next, but you have to be patient. This patience is a skill that helps us in many areas of life. It teaches us that some things take time and that good things are worth waiting for. A girl named Emma loved to read mysteries. She would spend hours trying to figure out who the culprit was before the story revealed it. One day, Emma was faced with a problem in her life that she couldn't solve right away. She was frustrated, but then she remembered how she felt when reading her mysteries. She realized that just like in the books, some answers take time to find. Emma decided to be patient and take things one step at a time, just like she did when reading her mysteries. Eventually, she found a solution to her problem. Emma's story reminds us that reading teaches us the value of patience. It shows us that sometimes we need to wait, think, and let things unfold naturally. Reading is also a way to discover who we are. The characters in books often face challenges that make them grow and change. As we read about their journeys, we start to reflect on our own lives. We ask ourselves how we would handle the situations they face. This helps us learn more about our own strengths and weaknesses. A teenager named Jake was feeling lost. He didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. One day he picked up a book about a young adventurer who traveled the world in search of treasure. The adventurer faced many dangers but always stayed true to himself. As Jake read, he started to think about his own dreams and desires. By the time Jake finished the book, he realized that he wanted to travel and explore the world too. He understood that the most important thing was to be true to himself, just like the adventurer in the book. Jake's story shows us that reading can help us discover our own paths. It helps us find out who we are and what we want in life. Reading also teaches us about love. Many books tell stories of love between friends, family, or partners. These stories show us the different ways love can be expressed and the challenges that come with it. By reading about love, we learn how to love others better in our own lives. A woman named Grace loved reading romance novels. She enjoyed the stories of people finding love and overcoming obstacles together. But one day, Grace's own relationship was in trouble. She didn't know what to do. Then she remembered the characters in her books who had faced similar problems. Grace decided to apply the lessons she had learned from her books. She talked openly with her partner, just like the characters did, and they worked through their problems together. Grace's story shows us that reading can teach us how to love and care for others. Books give us examples of how to navigate the ups and downs of love. Reading can also help us find comfort in times of grief. When we lose someone we love, it can feel like the world has stopped. But books can offer us words of comfort and help us heal. They remind us that we are not alone in our pain and that others have gone through similar experiences. There was a man named Robert who had just lost his best friend. He was heartbroken and didn't know how to move on. One day he found a book about a man who had also lost someone he loved. The book was filled with stories of loss, but it also showed how the man found peace and healing over time. As Robert read, he felt a sense of comfort. The words in the book spoke to his heart and helped him see that his grief was a natural part of life. Robert realized that while he would always miss his friend, he could still find joy in the memories they had shared. Robert's story shows us that reading can be a source of comfort in difficult times. It helps us heal and reminds us that life goes on. Reading also helps us develop our imagination. When we read, our minds create pictures of the places and people in the story. We imagine what the characters look like, what their voices sound like, and how the world around them feels. This exercise of the imagination makes us more creative in our own lives. A boy named Lucas loved reading fantasy books about dragons and wizards. He would spend hours imagining the magical worlds in the stories. One day, Lucas's teacher asked the class to write a story of their own. Lucas was excited because he had so many ideas from the books he had read. Lucas wrote a story about a brave knight who befriends a dragon. His teacher was amazed by the creativity in Lucas's story. Lucas's story shows us that reading helps us become more imaginative and creative. It fills our minds with ideas that we can use in our own lives. Reading also helps us face our fears. Many stories feature characters who are scared but find the courage to face their fears. As we read about these characters, we learn that it is okay to be afraid. We also learn that we can overcome our fears if we are brave and determined. A girl named Zoe was afraid of the dark. She would always leave a light on at night because she was scared of what might be hiding in the shadows. One day, Zoe read a story about a girl who was also afraid of the dark. But in the story, the girl faced her fear and discovered that there was nothing to be afraid of. Zoe was inspired by the girl in the story. That night she decided to turn off the light and face her fear. At first she was scared, but then she remembered the girl in the book and felt brave. Zoe's story shows us that reading can help us find the courage to face our fears. It teaches us that we are stronger than we think. Reading also helps us develop empathy. When we read about characters who are going through difficult times, we start to feel what they feel. This makes us more understanding and compassionate toward others in real life. We learn to see the world from different perspectives and appreciate the feelings of others. A man named David was reading a book about a family who had lost their home in a fire. As he read, he felt a deep sense of sadness for the family. David had never experienced such a loss, but the book helped him understand what it might feel like. The next day, David heard about a family in his town who had also lost their home in a fire. He felt moved to help them because of what he had read. David's story shows us that reading helps us develop empathy. It helps us connect with others on a deeper level and understand their pain and joy. Books are like windows into the hearts of others, helping us see the world with more compassion. Reading also teaches us about resilience. Many stories feature characters who face great challenges but never give up. As we read about their struggles, we learn that it is possible to overcome even the toughest obstacles. We see that resilience is a powerful force that can carry us through difficult times. A woman named Hannah was going through a tough time in her life. She had lost her job and was feeling hopeless. One day she picked up a book about a woman who had faced similar challenges. The woman in the book never gave up, even when things seemed impossible. She kept pushing forward, and in the end, she achieved her dreams. As Hannah read, she felt inspired by the woman's strength and determination. She decided to keep going, even though things were hard. Eventually, Hannah found a new job and started to rebuild her life. Hannah's story shows us that reading can teach us about resilience. It helps us see that no matter how hard life gets, we can always find the strength to keep going. Reading also helps us build confidence. When we read, we learn new things and gain knowledge. This knowledge makes us feel more confident in ourselves and our abilities. It gives us the tools we need to face challenges and achieve our goals. A teenager named Mia loved to read books about science. She was fascinated by the way the world worked and wanted to learn as much as she could. One day, Mia's teacher asked the class to do a science project. Mia felt confident because of all the books she had read. She used what she had learned to create a project that impressed everyone. Mia's story shows us that reading can help us build confidence. It gives us the knowledge we need to succeed and the belief that we can achieve our dreams. Books are like mentors that guide us and give us the confidence to reach for the stars. Reading is also a way to find joy. There is nothing quite like the feeling of getting lost in a good book. The words on the page can transport us to places of wonder and delight. They can make us laugh, smile, and feel a deep sense of happiness. A little girl named Sophie loved to read books about animals. She would giggle at the funny things the animals did and smile at their adventures. One day, Sophie was feeling sad because her best friend had moved away. Her mom gave her a new book to read, and as Sophie turned the pages, she started to feel better. The story made her laugh, and by the end of the book, she was smiling again. Sophie's story shows us that reading can bring us joy even in tough times. Books are like sunshine that brightens our days and fills our hearts with happiness. Reading also helps us stay curious. The more we read, the more we want to learn. Each book is like a door that opens to a new world of knowledge and discovery. This curiosity keeps our minds active and engaged, always seeking to learn more. A man named Tom loved reading books about history. He was fascinated by the stories of the past and wanted to learn as much as he could. One day, Tom came across a book about a period in history he knew little about. As he read, his curiosity grew, and he started to explore other books on the same topic. Tom's curiosity led him to discover new things and deepen his understanding of the world. Tom's story shows us that reading helps us stay curious. It keeps our minds sharp and eager to learn. Books are like keys that unlock the doors to new knowledge and understanding. Reading is something that enriches our lives in so many ways. It helps us grow, learn, and connect with others. It gives us strength, hope, and joy. It teaches us to be patient, kind, and resilient. Books are not just stories, they are treasures that fill our lives with meaning and purpose. So, let us make reading a part of our daily lives. Let us open our hearts and minds to the stories that have the power to change us. Let us read to learn, to grow, and to dream. Let us read to find comfort, to heal, and to love. And most of all, let us read to find the joy and beauty that life has to offer. Reading is a gift that we can give ourselves every day. It is a way to nourish our souls and fill our lives with wonder. So pick up a book and let the journey continue. The world is full of stories waiting to be discovered, and each one has the power to make our lives richer and more beautiful.